Back with another How Do We Fix video, and today we are talking about the Spurs. So obviously we know the Spurs just lost the NBA Finals to the Knicks. Not, I wouldn't say in shocking fashion, but definitely, well, a lot of people had him, including me, had the Spurs coming in. After I seen Game One, I felt a little different. I was like, oh, the Knicks can definitely beat this team, and the Spurs are up in every game. They won 72%. They were winning 72% of the series, and it didn't show up in the end results. They didn't play well when it was time to. I mean, obviously some of that is age and experience, but Knicks just outplayed them. So what? How do we fix the Spurs? One thing, even though Champagne played great in the Thunder series, he didn't play great in the finals. He actually got them. It's a big help in the Thunder series. Got them to Game 7. I do think they'll end up having to get somebody who is bigger at the four. Obviously, they do have Carter Bryant, but Carter Bryant ain't really bigger than Champagne either. And one of the reasons for this, pause, but size, can't do nothing but help you in basketball. Good size. Pause. Jesus Christ. But one thing I noticed, especially, it wasn't really as prevalent in the Knicks series as I remember because the Knicks, obviously they got OG, but OG's with like 6'8". He's a stout 6'8", but he's only like 6'8", 6'9", playing the four. They don't really run two bigs like they used to with Tibbs. But the Thunder ran two bigs. And one thing I noticed one thing I noticed a lot is, obviously Wemby, he'll be a help defender and he'll take off from his defender, from the offensive guy he's guarding to block a shot, and then that offensive guy just trail and get the offensive rebound. So that was something I noticed a lot during the Thunder series. Obviously, the Spurs are a good rebound team. I mean, their 1 through 3 positional size is pretty good. I just think somebody bigger at the four will end up having to happen, just because you don't see a lot of teams with 6'6" right now. We have a couple teams who have brought back two bigs, and that's something I'm finna get into a couple minutes. But it's just not a lot of just 6'6", even though Champagnie was playing good. It's not even like he's a four. It's basically like, they're playing Wemby, two guards and two wings. Like, next thing I would say is a backup center. Obviously, Luke Cornett had the play that saved the Western Conference Finals because it looked like the momentum was going towards the Thunder before he had that block on Hartenstein. But this series, he played absolutely terrible, and he had been playing terrible for a lot of the playoffs. Those numbers when Wemby has to come off the floor is atrocious. Like, Wemby cannot stay off the floor for the simple fact Luke Cornett can't get the job done. And it's not like they need him to do a stellar job. They just need them to keep them afloat. And he just simply cannot do that. I don't know. I don't know if like that Boston organization or what I was thinking about, I was like, maybe he looked great because of the defenders he had. Like, he got a great defensive team around him. But as far as perimeter defense, outside of Wemby, I would say that Celtics team was definitely better. I mean, Drew Holiday, Derek White, Tatum, and Brown, that's a hell of a four, to have in front of you to prevent things from getting to the basket. And I don't know. I don't know exactly why Luke Cornett would look way better in Boston than he does in San Antonio. I can't quite put my finger on it, but whatever it is, he has looked terrible. And Wemby can't, a lot of people were trying to, also, Wemby could get in a little better shape. I mean, he is 22. He's going to learn from these things. Obviously, this is a learning lesson. And I don't know. I was about to say they really just need a backup center. They need somebody they can keep them afloat. It looks like it's going to be a lot of, decent centers that, play backup on the market. And also with how Wemby play, they may be able to play two big men. Now, I will say Wemby's perimeter defense is a little, but we not the other teams that play two bigs. They're the guy there would be like the power forward, like the Chet and Evan Mobley types. They not bad on the perimeter, but I wouldn't say they're elite either. So they probably could make that work depending on who they got. But that would definitely be interesting. It would just give them more lineup versatility. A two big lineup with Wemby sounds like hell. That shit would be crazy, especially when you got shit. If they keep Fox, they'll have Fox, Harper, and Castle on the court and two big. That'd be OD. That'll be OD. So that's definitely something to think about. This one I had more question marks around because I'm not exactly sure if this is an issue, but shot creation. The reason I say that is because when you look at a team like the Knicks, when they go, besides Hart really, but when they go, their starting lineup and they have Jalen, OG, Mikhail, Josh Hart, Cat. Josh Hart, I mean, Josh Hart can do some things with the ball, but it's not. He's not really a shot creator. But those other three players are, shot creators. And I mean, other four players are like shot creators. And when you see like with Vassell and Champagne is definitely not a shot creator. Champagne is definitely a catch and shoot guy. Vassell, he'll do a little more off the dribble. He's not going to give you a lot off the dribble. Obviously, I mean, we've seen some of these games. He's taking 3, 4 shots and he started. So that should tell you something. Obviously, their guards are going to do some. Castle, obviously Castle gives you a lot of rim pressure, but once he his jump shot develops a little more, he definitely add a lot more shot creation. And obviously, we know what Harper and Fox bring. Well, Fox when he's playing well bring. So maybe they could. And if Fox and them like last game, Fox having a bad game, Castle having a bad game, maybe they could add a bench piece that could score the ball for him, but. I don't know. That was really a question mark. I mean, I could see it, but it's not. I don't think that's the biggest of issues. And the last one, just age and experience. They're a very young team. I mean, a lot of people, they try to, diminish people when they lose at young ages. But if you really look at, history and totality of things, the all great players don't usually win until they're 27. Like you have a few exceptions, but even with them exceptions, you can make like counterpoints to that. Like think about it. Brian ain't went till he was 27 Miami. Jokic didn't win till he was 27 in Denver. I think Tatum was still 26. But that's still 4 more years for Wemby. I think who else? MJ, Michael Jordan was 27. Obviously Kobe won young, but Kobe had Shaq. And Shaq was the best player on the team. I think Shaq was around 27 in that ballpark. How Curry was drafted in '09. He played 2 years in college. So Curry was around 26, 27 when he won his. KD was probably like 28, 29. So like you don't win until you get into that part of your 20s. So it shouldn't really affect when we lost this early. Like he did what all the greats do. I mean, you got to get your heart broken basketball to become one of those ones. Obviously, he's like partially there and he's on his way there, but you got to get your heart broke. It happens to the best of them, so this shouldn't be a down point for him. He just should look to improve. And I mean, their whole team is young as far as age and experience. They're gonna have to start. Obviously it's probably because he was a rookie, but Mitch Johnson is gonna have to say fuck all that young shit and just put his trust in Dylan Harper because Dylan Harper played his ass off, especially that last game. Now I know he missed one of them layups late. He missed missed some free throws, yes, but he was really the only bright spot on their team in that game 5 because both teams were actually struggling from the field besides Brunson. So and Dylan Harper was the only one on the Spurs that was doing something. So and he's been actually playing very well this finals despite him being that young. So that like I said, Castle. I mean Castle. Harper's going to help Castle a lot because the only issue Castle had this playoffs, obviously he's not the greatest of shooters, but that can improve, and that just may not be his game. But he was turning the ball over a lot. But when you see he had another ball handler to help him, when he had Fox, when Harper's in the game, let them be the lead ball handler. He didn't turn the ball over. He played well. Now I ain't expect him and Fox to shoot. Couldn't hit the side of a barn game 5, but it is what it is. That's basketball for you. But yeah, I think that last one's really the most important one. I don't think they really have to mix up their roster too much or try to go get a piece. But that's what all I gotta say though. Like, share, subscribe, comment. IG to top bottom video, and we up.